Yeah. It's something I think most of us expected, but like... Jesus Christ, dude. Nintendo. Of course, in classic Nintendo fashion, last night, tweeted out in early April of 2024. Online play and other functionalities that use online communication will end for both the 3DS and the Wii U. Link on their website, it verifies more information. This end of online play and functionality also includes online co-op, internet rankings, and data distribution. A specific end date, they didn't give us a specific end date, they were going to announce that later. If an event occurs that would make it difficult to keep the online services for these systems going, they might discontinue it sooner than planned. And players can still play offline games that don't require online. Pokemon Bank on 3DS is the only online service going to be held up functioning after the fact. Granted, that might end at some point too, because Pokemon Company and Pokemon literally has different servers for that to keep it going. It's not Nintendo's servers. Online services in general will be done. You could still re-download purchased software and DLC, or download update data. And Street Pass uses local communication, so that's still going to be a thing, that's still going to be up. But Spot Pass on 3DS, that's basically done. That's the gist of the news. Again, knowing and expecting this was eventually going to come doesn't magically stop the sting for those who bought or owned either a 3DS or Wii U. We're not even that far away from when they shut down the eShop for 3DS and Wii U. That happened like 6 months ago. The massive purge of these classic games and exclusive software for owners of those systems. The scare for some to go on the feared preservation scalp just to make sure these games would never be lost ever again. And this isn't as bad as the eShop shutdown in my opinion. Preservation of thousands of classic and semi-newer software matters more than online functionality of a select handful of games in my opinion. But this is still them taking out access to online functionality of games that either have or in some way need that functionality. It's another preservation issue at the crux of it, like the eShop's shutdown last March. And the number of games that fit the criteria aren't small, but they aren't exactly a whole lot of games that required significant use of online to get anywhere or anything out of it either. But dude, I look at Xbox 360. Even when that's discontinuing its online marketplace next summer, its online play for its games, that's still kicking. They were up and running since late 2005. Almost 2 whole decades are Xbox games on 360 online, still readily playable, and Nintendo's cutting the cord on barely half that amount of time. Sony was going to do this with the PS3 way back in 2021. They were going to cut online servers in the store, but they backpedaled because of fan and consumer backlash, and for 17 years so far, their servers are still active on hardware 2 generations old. So it's like, even when we expect it from Nintendo or any of these other companies, even when backlash actually worked in the PS3's case, it's just annoying, man, seeing Nintendo shut these services down a lot sooner than their competition, when they just waited until midnight last night to break this news, and when it's almost instantly one shutdown of a service after another. Yeah, the eShop's closing signified this more than anything, and I know people didn't buy the Wii U, you can't say that for the 3DS. Forget the games where they thrived from online on both systems and are completely gonna die essentially when this happens. Splatoon 1, Mario Kart 7, Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U, Kid Icarus Uprising, the Pokemon games, like online modes and features, they're just gone. Not now, but come April next year, maybe sooner, so at most 6 months from now, they'll just go defunct altogether, which it's just annoyingly disappointing, dude. It's disappointing, but it's more annoying, I think, than anything else. And it's still fun, just like hopping on some of these older games, like Mario Kart 7 or Kid Icarus Uprising, and seeing some people hop online, and you still got even a couple of people giving these last generation games some love and thinking just all, oh hey, you guys are still playing this game? That's kind of sick. Yo, you want to go to Waka Woohoo? They patched that broken shortcut, but we can race there, sure. I'd rather go to Maple Tree or Airship Fortress, but sure. I'm ready to die really fast, but I could catch you with my upper dash arm. I dash attack you. You literally die in one hit. That's how strong this thing is. My glass cannon fit for Kid Icarus Uprising, so yeah. I'm probably not going to get that neat little comfort anymore. And I'm also reminded of how God bless fans and fan servers. Wimmfi? Anyone? Nintendo Wi-Fi connection? That discontinued on the Wii. Then Wimmfi came in, and now we could play Mario Kart Wii, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and all these other games on the Wii online again, for hardware 2 generations old. Well, assuming this kicks up some motivation for the people behind, people could just Pretendo. Pretendo? Anyone? Yo, you should look that up if you don't know what that is. But yo, we could just Pretendo the servers never left. And you could still play 3DS and Wii U titles online. Mario Maker on both systems, Splatoon, OG Pokken Tournament. Like, there is development for fan servers like Wimmfi that keep these older games alive, modes, and features intact, and it doesn't hurt Nintendo's bottom line in any way. If at all, because they're saying, yeah, we're just going to completely cut ties with them. And to those who supported those older systems, it gives them a reason to go back and revisit these games. Once again, just like the need to emulate or chuck a lot of money at Nintendo over effectively more artificial scarcity, this calls to vision more of how the gaming landscape has this preservation problem that's becoming more and more easier to notice and take heed to just because it's getting worse and worse. This basically is the absolute, complete, total, objective, absolute final nail in the coffin for the 3DS and Wii U. Which is a shame. No more eShop, no more online multiplayer or online play period. They discontinued making those systems, the games for those systems. All support for these systems are basically cut off almost completely with this development. This is basically the final tie, the last straw Nintendo had with the 3DS and the Wii U at this point. And for either legacy content or online functionality, none of these can't be revived unless it's through emulation and or piracy for the former, and homebrew for the latter, if not both. Praying Pretendo advances development, but not everyone even has access to that kind of hacking to preserve either avenue for gaming. Like, people are going to struggle finding the games on either these systems legally and for reasonable price. Now it's at least doubled if they want any sort of online connectivity or functionality, especially to fully get the most out of certain titles designed around it. And I know the biased Kid Icarus fan in me is hoping they pump some of these to Switch or the next system, modern hardware basically, but deadass, Kid Icarus Uprising's multiplayer is going to be basically non-operational. So for games like that, why wouldn't people ask for software like that to get modified and re-released on modern hardware? I mean, Urchin Underpass for Splatoon, that's basically going to be completely gone now, besides in Battle Mode of Mario Kart 8. At least in Kid Icarus' case, it's another valid reason for people to want Uprising in HD on Switch or the next system, because it genuinely is good multiplayer, but it's not even just a Kid Icarus issue at the end of it. And most TOS's, terms of services for these shutdowns, they usually state they can end these services for no real reason or no notice, so we don't even know whether Nintendo's losing money keeping these servers up, even though it's not like they were making money on the 3DS and especially Wii U once the Switch came into market. Granted, that could literally be the reason. If not 2 to 3 years into its life, then what about their competition's reasons for maintaining theirs? How different or similar cases are made there? Though, again, at least for, like, you can make that case for Wii U, though. You can't make that for 3DS. People buying the system, that's what I'm talking about. If there wasn't enough space or something at Nintendo, or Nintendo felt the ecosystem or community for their last-gen games and systems wasn't worth the investment any longer. If it did, then how much of a drop in the bucket or an ocean? I don't know these types of things. None of us work at Nintendo or the makeup of how they want to go about operating their online for years, whether for their services or even just their individual games. But none of this just doesn't stop this from just being, all in all, pretty annoying. And most people seem rightly upset about this, reasonably so. And I'm just like, even with Pretendo trying to preserve online functionality for 3DS and Wii U, can we just, like, legislate if servers completely shut down or if a business goes under, the source code for a game or service becomes open source at that point, so the community can just maintain that game and or service's lifespan however long they want? That would be best case scenario. I'm pretty sure literally everyone could agree on that. But even with Wimmfi or Pretendo, because official servers are shutting down, that does make those services, especially the latter by next spring, completely legal, since Nintendo's not doing anything with it at all and the respective systems. And 2 other things, honestly. 1, I would hope Nintendo's online by the next console does my taxes, pays my mortgage, gives me the sloppiest head in my entire life, and gives me the map to Nirvana and Shambhala after this, and how even with the updates and add-ons Nintendo Switch Online's gotten up to now, online play in general is still really far from ideal. And 2, a new hope I'm getting for Switch 2 or whatever the next system is some kind of control scheme that will accommodate 3DS, Wii U, and even DS hardware/software. Because with this shutdown, hell, even since the eShop shutdown last March, those consoles will truly be lost to time without any accurate alternatives. Because, sorry to break it to you, most would not rather emulate the stylus or touch controls with a mouse on a computer. Yeah, I don't know. This just sucks, man. On top of the eShop shutdown half a year ago, expect it or not, it's just a bummer. Yell at me for how insensible I'm being in those comments, or how wrong I am, or be disappointed like me. Oh, he's excited for 1000 Year Door HD. This 25-year-old man's a shill, even though Nintendo Switch Online expansion, the past generation system's eShop shut down, fan projects, mods getting shut down, now this, other Nintendo games and their designs and flaws, like, this genuinely does disappoint me. But how many times have I shown behavior and actions that aren't blind shill behavior, yet have gotten some to be like, oh, he's a meat rider shill, when you guys who have actually seen more than 5 minutes of at least 3 of my videos know I'm not. This adding to that, but point is, I love Nintendo the creative, but Nintendo the business, oh! I want to strangle him sometimes. You can feel both sides of that coin at once. They're not mutually exclusive, but it's whatever. People got good reasons to be upset and hate. People have bad reasons to be upset and hate. This, though, this is another good reason to not celebrate. To not be happy. This is not good. This just sucks. It's annoying, man. It's just... I also woke up from this, so it's just like, oh, it's like extra. He's extra grumpy right now. I'll feel better in a little bit, but like, this still sucks. I'll see you guys with something lighter and happier, but this is getting tedious at this point, man. Just stay super.
Yo, hey, 妹妹，嘿，我来呀！不不，共和到哈哈呀！拉面，嘿，来面，来个面，共和再见呀！哈哈，拉面，上手面，谢谢。